Okay, so when a car seat first arrives, the car seat technician will look for some obvious things that might not be so great for baby. So right now this car seat is pushed way too far into the driver's seat. If there was a crash, the car seat can't move around and take the brunt of the force. So that's a little too tight. Another thing is the handle is up. You really need to check the owner's manual for your car seat to see how the manufacturer says it needs to be. It either can be forward perhaps, but most are back behind the baby's head. So that's a couple obvious things right off the get-go. So Bill's going to take out baby and the actual carrier and see how the car seat was installed on the base. So right off you can see that's moving way too much. The base of the seat next to the car seat needs to only move about an inch. So that's way too loose. Also it looks like the parents might have used both kinds of systems to hook up the seat. They've got a seat belt going on through where the seat belt is. You can also see underneath there they've used the latch system, which is actually a different system to hook up the base of your car seat. The latch itself that he's moving right now, that can be installed in latches that are in the fold of the seat between the back and the seat itself. You can also use the seat belts and follow the belt path on the car seat base. Neither one of them is safer than the other. They're just two options that you have. So in this case, the parents have decided to use a seat belt system in order to restrain the base of the car seat. And what Bill's doing is not only installing that car seat correctly for her, but he's also showing mom how she can do it. So we make sure that every time baby's in the car seat, they're traveling as safe as possible. So Bill's following the belt path to make sure that's installed properly. And then the next thing he'll do once he's got the seat belt adjusted is really he's pressing into that car seat and pulling up the slack. So by the time he's done with that, the car seat base is not going to move more than an inch, and that's the safest way baby can travel. So now the carrier piece is being snapped into the car seat base. We're going to check a couple things. First off, there's plenty of room between the seat and baby's car seat. So Bill's going to check now the belts on baby to make sure that they are in the proper position and there's not a lot of slack. Clearly there's too much slack down by the seat belt and baby would shift in the event of a crash. So he's going to make sure the seat belts on the shoulders are in the right position and that there's not too much slack. And the next really important thing to look at is to make sure that chest clip, which is down right now on baby's tummy, is actually up on her chest. It should be up under by her tickle spots, under her arms. So that's going to protect her chest in the event of a crash. So baby can still move because of the extra strap room down in the crotch area. So you can roll up a washcloth or a towel and put it in there without hurting the car seat in any way or its performance, and that will take up any slack in the event of a crash. Another piece that's really important, that car seats will have some kind of gauge or level for you to make sure that baby's at the right angle. Clearly right now this one is not, so it needs to be adjusted to fit the car seat correctly. So when the seat isn't in the proper position based on what the gauge said, then we need to have that seat be a little higher in the front. So what Bill's doing is he's actually using some pool noodles, which are recommended by the manufacturer, to strap that in correctly and be at the right angle. Now that the pool noodle has been installed, you can see on the gauge where the car seat is in the proper position. Can't see any of that orange anymore. And the perpendicular line between the car seat and the seat has been established, so this seat is ready to go. Okay, so the first thing Yvonne's noticed about this seat is it is way too loose. It should only be moving about 1 inch, and it looks like the parents have installed seat belts and a latch system and are actually using the middle seat belt also, in addition to everything else they have hooked up. And safely, we only need to use one set of hookups, either for the latch system or for the seat belt system. So Yvonne's gonna be taking this car seat out and making sure we start again correctly. So the folks that hooked up this car seat used the latch system, but also in the wrong place. There's a latch on the passenger's rear seat, just one, and there's one on the driver's rear seat. So it's really important that you use a latch system designed for the seat placement that your child's in. So in this seat, we're going to use the latch system to set that up. Those are the latches themselves, and you need to make sure that on the belt path that the belt is not twisted at all. This one is a bit, so we're going to get that straightened out first. And you'll notice on the seat itself there's some markers that show you where the latches are between the back of the seat and the front of the seat. And we're going to follow the belt facing path that Yvonne's got that belt through. Okay, so Yvonne's inserting the latches into the system at the bite of the seat where those are located. And once she's got those clicked in properly, and you'll be able to hear those snap in when you put them in, the next thing you'll do is tether the top of the car seat to the anchor that's located in your car. In this case, the tether for her is located back behind the seat, and you always want to make sure you pull that over the top of whatever headrest you have in the back. Now the technician can check and make sure the car seat's not moving around too much and it's in the proper position to be most safe for the ride. So this is a booster seat for older children that aren't ready to be in a regular seat at this point. So it looks like mom and dad have the seat belt in the wrong path that works for that car seat booster. So Yvonne's moving that from the incorrect spot into the spot where it should be, so we can best protect your child. So that is the route you're going to take on this particular seat. You also need to make sure that the top of the seat belt is in the correct spot. It's going through a loop system up there so that it can cross his chest and be above their chest.